Lesson 2. How to make tocino and longanisa. Tocino and longanisa are examples of meat preserves. In Lesson 1, you learned that preserving meat helps prevent spoilage. Some of the methods of meat preservation we discussed in the previous lesson can be used to make tocino and longanisa. You will learn exactly how to do this in this module. In making tocino and longanisa, you prevent the meat from spoiling, so it lasts longer, becomes more tasty and delicious, and is always ready to cook. Have you tried making tocino and longanisa? What were the ingredients you used? How did you go about making them? Did your products turn out delicious? After studying this module, you should be able to follow the instructions for making tocino and longanisa, and use your knowledge of food preservation to make tocino and longanisa. First and foremost, ingredients and equipment. Suppose you talk to your favorite butcher or meat shop owner. The ingredients that you will be needing are soy sauce, salt, sugar, food coloring, chili pepper, garlic, vinegar, ground pepper, and salitre or saltpeter. Meanwhile, the equipment needed are the following: a weighing scale, a mortar and pestle, a mixing bowl, measuring cups and spoons, a spatula, some thread for longanisa, a syringe, a funnel, a catch basin, a knife, and a chopping board. If you were able to name them all, then you are familiar with the ingredients and equipment that you will need. Are you ready to make tocino and longanisa? Read on to find out how. How to make tocino. Suppose that one day at the market, your favorite meat shop owner was making some tocino when you dropped by to buy something. You proceeded to observe how she went about doing it. This was what you saw. Ingredients: 1 kilo pork meat, 4 tablespoons warm water, 2 tablespoons brown sugar, 2 tablespoons salt, 1 teaspoon salt pepper or salitre or potassium nitrate. Procedure. Step 1. Cut the meat into 1/4 inch slices. Step 2. Prepare a curing solution. Mix 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons sugar, and 1 teaspoon saltpeter. Dissolve this in 4 tablespoons of warm water. Step 3. Pour the curing solution over the meat, making sure that it is evenly applied to all slices. Step 4. Place the meat inside a plastic container and store it in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days before cooking. Step 5. Cook the meat until it is slightly brown. The preparation and cooking should take about 15 to 20 minutes. How to make longanisa. Let us say that while you were talking with your favorite meat shop owner, you saw the lady from the neighboring stall making longanisa. a Filipino-style sausage. The ingredients are 1 kilo ground pork, 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1½ tablespoons soy sauce, 2 tablespoons vinegar, 2 tablespoons wine, 1 teaspoon saltpeter or salitre or potassium nitrate, 1 teaspoon ground pepper, 2 teaspoons chopped garlic, 12 sausage casings or skin-like coverings for processed meat such as longanisa, usually made of the cleaned intestines of cows, pigs, or sheep. Procedure. Step 1. Prepare the curing solution. Combine 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons sugar, and 1 teaspoon saltpeter. Dissolve this in 4 tablespoons warm water. Step 2. Mix the curing solution with the ground pork. Add the rest of the ingredients and stuff the mixture into the casings. Place them inside the refrigerator and let stand for 5 to 6 days. Step 3. To cook, place a small amount of water in a frying pan. Add the longanisa and boil for about 10 minutes. With a fork, pierce the casings. The longanisa is ready when juices flow out and turn to a dark caramel color. Happy with what you have learned, you went home with the ingredients you purchased for making tocino and longanisa. You tried making your own tocino and longanisa immediately because you didn't want to forget the new things you have just learned. Well, how did your tocino and longanisa taste? Were they delicious? Now, here are some tips to improve your products. Tips on preparing tocino and longanisa. The most important ingredient in the curing solution is salt. Saltpeter or salitre is the ingredient used to improve the color of a meat product. Loin is the pork cut that yields juicy and delicious tocino and longanisa. However, any pork cut may be used for making tocino. The meat used for making longanisa is a mixture of fat and lean meat. Make sure that the color of the meat is just right, that it has no smell, and that the grains are tightly packed. The steps followed in making tocino are the same steps followed in making ham or bacon, except that the manner of slicing the meat is different for tocino. It is not recommended that you use pork belly because it is too fatty. You may use other spices or even vinegar to help prevent food spoilage. In Lesson 1, you learned that vinegar prevents the multiplication of harmful microorganisms that can be used as a curing method. 2 tablespoons of vinegar is an appropriate amount to add. The acid in vinegar and the natural chemicals in spices help keep microorganisms from increasing. If you want to prepare twice as much tocino or longanisa, you just have to double the recipe. Tips on cooking tocino and longanisa. Wash the preserved product before cooking to remove the grease of the saltpeter. If the preserved meat is frozen, the cooking time should be longer. Avoid burning the tocino or longanisa when cooking. The chemicals of the saltpeter can be very unhealthy when burned. Remember, Tocino and longanisa are easy to prepare and cook. Remember the important tips in making tocino and longanisa, such as the recommended type of meat, the use of salt, and the length of cooking time, etc. The method used in preparing tocino and longanisa is curing. The meat is preserved with a curing mixture made of salt, sugar, and saltpeter. These curing ingredients absorb moisture from the meat, thus preventing or delaying microbial growth. Acid in vinegar and natural chemicals in spices help keep microorganisms from increasing in number. Refrigeration of the cured products will ensure that microorganisms won't spoil the product.